Hello, all, and welcome. In our previous DE&I episodes, we shared that studies show that diverse companies are more likely to have better financial returns above companies that are less internally diverse. We also shared that organizations with DE&I initiatives are more responsive to market needs, and they are better positioned to innovate, problem solve, and provide the best products and services. Many companies have embarked on an internal DE&I strategy for their leadership teams and employees. We also shared a bit about DE&I through a training lens, and these initiatives are internal in nature. In today's episode, we will take a look at the external lens, which is an equally important consideration for a company's overall DE&I strategy. We will discuss supplier diversity with Dr. Guido Minaya, CEO and Chief Learning Officer of Minaya Learning Global Solutions. Stay tuned to learn more. Hello, Dr. Minaya. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dario. It's great to be back on the show with you.
So let's start by giving our listeners an understanding of what a diverse supplier program is and what are diverse suppliers.
Yes, well, that's a great way to begin this episode. A supplier diversity program is an inclusive procurement practice where companies work with a diverse range of suppliers. And to be considered a diverse supplier, a business must be 51% owned, controlled, and operated by a person or group of people who belong to a traditionally underserved or underrepresented segment of the population. Some of the categories of diverse suppliers would be a big one is minority owned business enterprises. And these are often referred to as MBEs. So a firm that would meet this criteria is at least 51% owned and operated by a racial or ethnic minority, such as African American, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, Indian. So that's one big category. Another big category is women owned enterprises or WBEs. And again, WBEs that are at least 51% owned and operated by women fit this category. Then you've got the category of veteran owned business. And this is a business 51% owned and controlled by a disabled service veteran. Then you have the disability owned business, which again, 51% owned and operated by a person or persons with a disability. And another one is LGBTQ owned enterprise. And again, 51% owned and operated by LGBTQ individuals. So that gives
Wow.
you a sense.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a sense. Now, let's get to the supplier diversity programs. What do they entail?
Sure. And again, this is a good, foundation discussion on this. A supplier diversity program, even in any procurement program, it usually includes tier one suppliers, often referred to as prime suppliers of a business. And the supplier diversity program also takes into account tier two suppliers, which are the subcontractor companies a prime supplier may bring on for a specific project. So maybe an example might help. So let's say your business needs a lot of marketing support, and your company decides to contract a marketing firm directly. They're your prime. The marketing firm would be your direct supplier. And now let's say that some of the work you need done is video production.
Mhm.
You contact the marketing company. They don't have the staff to do video production, but they can oversee it. They have experience overseeing it. So the marketing firm contracts a subcontractor, which specializes in video production.
Mm.
So the marketing firm is your tier one, your prime provider, and the video production company is a tier two provider.
I understand. What advice can you give on how to get started?
Yeah, well, I think it all goes back to procurement. So supplier diversity programs are usually under the company's procurement department. So ideally, it's your procurement manager or maybe another procurement manager that is overseeing this kind of a program. And your supplier diversity program should be, as any program, should be in alignment with the company's mission, goals, values. And a good way to start is to first check, out of all of your suppliers, how many may have a certification as a diverse supplier. So that's one way to do it. And if by chance your company didn't track this kind of information from your suppliers, you can consider just a nice basic survey inquiring if they have any kind of certification from one of the certifying bodies, right? Yeah, and going back to, ensuring effectiveness and sustainability, right? A critical step is your leadership team of the company on board with a supplier diversity program. It's going to take some time to get the right diverse suppliers, and really your CEO and senior leadership team need to be on board so that you can get that kind of work done. But really, the hard work is establishing the relationships, finding the diverse suppliers, and continuing to search for those that are, best fit for your firm.
Well, speaking of establishing relationships with diverse suppliers, how does one find diverse suppliers?
Yeah, it could be, a daunting kind of task if you do it alone. And I'd say a great way to start is through organizations that do have current databases of certified diverse suppliers in the area that you need. So, as an example, there are state and national organizations that take on the role of vetting firms. So, MBEs, women owned businesses, veteran owned businesses, all those businesses can get through that certification, and if they go through that and are approved, can be in those databases. And for example, your local community could leverage your state's disadvantaged business enterprise certification program, also known as a DBE certification program. So if you contact your local small business development center, they would have that kind of information.
Mm,
And looking a little bit broader, right, there's national organizations with databases. For example, there's the National Minority Supplier Development Council,
mm,
known as NMSDC, and they do an excellent job of vetting minority owned businesses. And then there's the Women Business Enterprise National Council, known as WeBank. And again, similar role. They have a national certification program and process. In your area, you may have chambers of commerce with diverse members. For example, you might have a Hispanic chamber of commerce in your area, a Black chamber, an Asian chamber. And that's another way to connect with firms from those categories.
Well, those are some great tips on how to get started. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners on supplier diversity?
Thanks. I think we covered the basics. I'd say the one thing I would add is my own firm is a certified minority-owned business, and we certified through the National Minority Supplier Development Council,
Mm.
and we've gained so much as a company by being a part of NMSDC, as many MBEs do when they join that kind of an organization. Our certification came through a state affiliate, which is the Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council. And whether it's given us access to more state, national, global opportunities, or truly learning how to run our business better, I am a huge advocate of these types of certifying bodies. Highly recommend them not only to MBEs looking to get their certification, but of course to large, medium, global companies that leverage these bodies to find MBEs. And again, it doesn't mean that by having a certification that we'll win the business, but it definitely makes it easier to get in the door and take our best shot.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about the external lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially in regards to supplier diversity. In our next episode, we'll be looking at case studies in regards to DE&I. Until next time.